let's go, Ollie, jump in. This is one of the concepts. I'm not going to do the hooks tonight, I'm just going to throw the upper one. Jump on that survive. So for the back control strap, the most common thing is the seatbelt grip. You know, for me, like I get access to the truck, I get access to the arm bars, I get to control his back on my chest. So what we're doing is when we're looking for our skate, is if you think about it this way, there's more space between my knee and my elbow on this side versus my knee and my elbow on that side. So you're trying to put your back on the ground. So I've got the ability to lift you to that side, right, which I don't have the ability to lift that side up. So what we want to do first of all is the hand that's over, we're going to turn our chin this way. It also helps stop the choke because we're going against the choke, where if Ollie turns his head the other way, we're going into the choke. So number one says we're going to go with that. Number two, we're going to get a cross grip and we're going to go over the hand, we're going to pull the hand across the body. So that makes it hard for me to get my hand up on top to choke, right? So it's a nice easy grip. Left hand now holds my gi pants, and if I had the hook in, we'd simply lift the hook out. This is the part that we want to concentrate on. We bring our heels to our bottom, we slide our hips on top. What we do is slide off the side, but we're going to start turning towards them. So as we turn towards, we're going to end up with the hand on top. So coming out the side guys, we end up with a headlock position. So end up like, you know, by default a bit of a headlock position. And one of the things is this is, the most common thing is I'm going to try and roll you over, or get to my knees, or like, you know, I'm going to try and power out here. So one of the things you want to do is you want to take your right hand over my jawline and form a fist, and so you're pushing my head down. Your left hand goes on top of your right hand and pushes it down as well. So lift your head up nice and high, and that's going to grip mate. So you're in a position to either now go to armbar, kimura, or control, but I can't roll out of it. So it's a far better position than hunting the back straight away, where I still have the ability to move. So if you think about it this way, right, is the size of the lasso, right? So when I punch him in the face, it's tighter that side, it's larger that side. So we want to make sure, so we number one, cross grip, turn our head. Now, the hardest part is we want to put our heels on the ground, drive the weight onto me, so we're like a ball. So it's hard, I'm trying to like slide off to the side, shoulder blade. Now, even if I try and get out here, as you roll going down, I'm going to get my arms caught. So from here, I'm either going to let go and I'm going to try and power out to rescue to my knees or roll. We're going to go grip here. Now what is really important from here is that when we get here, it's under the jawline. So you're lifting my jawline up so I can't come back in. Your secondary hand goes on top. What that means is that my arm's inside the circle for the arm bar, no matter which way I go. So you've got my arm inside the lasso. So it's not much point like here and not putting your hand in here, because I'm going to go the underhook and the skate. Where you go hands to hand, I go, I got my arm here, but it's still in the circle. So this is all about the circles and the lasso. We want to get to a position that like either we're using the larger part of the circle to escape, or we're putting the arm, the head in the circle to head arm choke or arm bar. Okay, Em, take you off. Okay, so just last time, here. So the circle, the big circle, so it's tied on this side. Specifically, if I'm coming over the top to choke you, which is the job, there's a lot more gap on that side. So I like to cross it and I like to pull it across. Now the reason being, if you pull it that side, the side that you want to escape, you've closed the space on. So that's harder to escape. So what I like to do is I like to get a cross grip and I like to pull it down to the hip, which means that I'm here, which makes it even easier for you to plant your feet and start to hip escape off my body. Turn towards me, and I'm definitely going to try and grab the head from here. And I don't even like to, I like to just leave the hand here, like don't try and bring it off the head, it's okay. If your hand's stuck on the inside, put your head on the ground, TP, and create space, and now you should be able to pull your hand out, and we're in the same game again. Right, your right hand goes over the jawline, left hand goes together, my arm's on the inside. So whether you want to do like a teabag, kimura, arm bar, a bow and arrow choke, or whatever, you're in such a good position. But we started from back control, and we're now out and we're attacking, which is the main thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go guys. Always got your back. Yeah. So one of the things that happens in back control, and once again, I normally have my hooks in, but I'm being lazy today, is if I go my standard seatbelt grip, which is dead in front, I always want to make sure the hand that's going to choke is protected. Right, so volley hands fight, I've got the ability to parry and go to the next. So I always want to make sure that the hand that's going to choke is always protected. This does two things. Number one is I can parry and go to choke. Second is I can pull the hand deeper. So what happens is if I have my hooks in seatbelt grip and I'm here, it's very easy for Ollie to hand fight to grip break. Okay. So number two, what I want to do for me is I want to get the seatbelt grip. So I'm taking my right hand, so my left hand to my right hand. I'm not taking my right hand to my left hand, which is a really common mistake. I will counter this in a second. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to throw my hand over the top. I like to put the grip underneath the armpit. So now volley goes to hand fight. Right. It's a really awkward versus here. Number two, I call it Kung Fu, so when I'm teaching the kids, we call it Kung Fu fighting. It's not Kung Fu at all, I don't know why, but it just sounds pretty cool. Okay, so I'll throw my hand over, making sure that my elbow is chest side, not top. That's really important, so my elbow is top side. Here, what I'm doing is I squeeze in, and as soon as I see Ollie go to hand fight, I parry, and the choke's pretty much on. To complete the choke, I hold or I hold, it doesn't matter. What I'm doing is I'm taking my elbow to my knee, so are you okay, darling? Yeah. So I'm twisting down, and the choke's a super fast choke. I'm not going for the collar. I'm not going for the collar. I find if I get the collar, that it's actually a little bit loose, so even if I crunch it, I don't get the move in quite tight. But if I'm up here, it's a super fast choke. So rule number one is my left hand's going to my right hand. It's in the pocket like a seatbelt. Right, so that part of the seatbelt doesn't move. It's fixed. I throw my hand over. I get it nice and deep. Put them in my chin. As soon as I see the hands, I shoot my hand up. So if he goes to hand fight, I parry. I lock that in. And I don't care which hand. As soon as I get one of the hands, what I'm doing now is I'm taking my elbow to my knee. So slow crunch and twist. And the choke is it's a super fast choke. I have more success with this style choke than I do with the gi chokes and double lapel chokes and all that as well. Second is most people think that you're going to grab the collar at some stage. Well, I'm not going to the collar at all. Third part, gi, no gi, I do exactly the same thing. So whether I'm doing a gi fight or no gi fight, I don't change my system. The part that I see people forget is the very first part with that hand fight in front. I need to bury the hand underneath super tight to really, and the back control's a lot tighter as well. I'm really tight too.
Your head being so close to mine, that closes up.
Yeah, you know, and it disables your ability to turn your head to put your back on the ground as well.
Sometimes I like trying to look at what you're doing, but it's like...
Yeah, locked in position. So it's not like the seatbelt, so you know, that's a fastener for the seatbelt, and that doesn't come up. So I throw my hand over, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grab it, right? So if I can't get, and I'm pulling it in, what I do is I put my chin over nice and tight. So for the first part, like we explained, is Emma has to turn her head to get out of back control, because my head's in the way. So I hand fight, and all I'm doing is I'm parrying, and I get a grip. I do like to put my chin on top, so it is hard to hand fight. I tap my elbow, so I'm not twisting, because that doesn't do anything. I'm crunching and pulling in. So I'm crunching. So like I'm doing a oblique crunch. I don't know even how I know those two words, oblique and crunch, okay? So from here, I'm doing an oblique and crunch to put it on. Okay, let's have a shot that guys, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go 2 minutes. So do it a couple of times each, swap over. We'll change partners every 2 minutes, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Patience. No. I don't have the patience to do it, and to be truthful, like I don't have enough of a disposable income to just drop 50 grand. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like that whole. Just don't like, you know. For me, 50 grand. That's.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It's a couple of trips to Japan and a couple of gold medals and all that. Yeah. Lost 50 grand. I'd be like,
yeah.
You know? Okay. This is really interesting. This is when I started. I started teaching this a couple of years ago, and I'll bring it back. I cycle this into the class, and every time that I do it, most people go, "Oh, I forgot about that," or I wish I had known this. Like this comes up so many times, and it's an alternate, right? So it's an alternate way of doing it with the armbar, and I found this super effective against bigger and stronger opponents. Specifically, like I'm one of the lighter, older and lighter grapplers on the mat. So I do manage to get the armbar on some of the bigger, stronger guys, but they get that stubborn grip, like and I'm like, man. And some of the grip break stuff works really well, but some of it I just it doesn't work. I don't have the strength to do it. I don't want to disengage my legs in case they come up on top and all that. Right. So Ollie, I'll put you onto your back. legs that way, head that way. And we'll just start in the armbar position. I will come back and teach how we go here. So we start off in the armbar position. What's been happening is my partner's got the grips and so one of the things I want to do is I'll take my leg off your head just so you can see. Turn the camera just a fraction towards me. Okay. So one of the things that I do is if I have connection to the arm and not to my body, what I find happens is I start to move and I create space for his elbow to start to recycle and to rescue, number one. So what I do like to do is I like to make it attached. So this way, if I move backwards, his arm comes with me. Really important, right? So I'm not here. I'm here, high, not low, high. And I will kind of climb to get that. And now, this is a really strong mechanic to grip break, number one. Number two, even if I'm doing this, sometimes and they're like stubborn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cycle my hands or recycle my hands. So I'm gonna put my hand through, I'm gonna cup onto my hip from here. So it still does the same kind of attachment, right? The hardest part about this is this, I've got to be willing to risk a little bit. Same as Bitcoin, except I'm not gonna drop 50 grand. Okay. So I'm gonna post. What I'm doing is I'm taking my elbow into the space over here where his hip is. I'll post. Tatler, pull, 2 hip steps, and I'm on the back. And I've already got my seatbelt grip. Yeah. I'm pretty much in the position to finish the choke. So, like I've seen so many people that fight for the armbar, that, like, come on, and this is a really nice alternate if they're really strong. The thing I like about it is I get you back. Like I take you back. So even if I fail that choke and that, I'm on your back. So I've recycled to back. I've got points. I'm in a much better position than that fighting, kick, and I end up, they're coming up in my guard. I'm like, well, I didn't get any points in my guard, but I didn't get any points. So if I can recycle to the back, this is a far better option. Okay. Small details. Oh, you want your back. So number one is, right, I have to be able to sit up. So it's not much point having this arm through because I can't sit up properly. So I need to have this arm to sit up. Does that make sense? Number two, I can't sit up with my weights on his head. So grip or grip. Or if I have a gi, I like this grip better. I assume my partner has his hands together super tight. Post. So what I'm doing is as I post, I'm bringing him up, so I'm kind of on the side here. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a pendulum effect. So I'm kind of go kick and swoop. And I should be able to go straight to his feet. I've got the hand ties as well. So right now, like I've got the hand fight.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm in such a good position to, number one, finish. I've got the back. I've already done the hand. I've actually preempted the hand fight before I even get there. So for me, this is a really cool way when you go the armbar and they're stronger or they get the grips together to finish it. Em, thank you, Ollie. Doesn't matter what side. So a couple of golden rules on the armbar, right, is I always want attachment to me. I don't want attachment to them. So I do like to grab the gi nice and high. Second thing is this, MOA is 40 kilo. So I don't know too many people that if Emma starts leaning backwards, that can straight hold 40 kilo for an extended period of time. Eventually it's going to fatigue and like it's quite hard to hold 40 kilo out. I understand Emma might be a little bit heavier with a gi, but at the same principle. Number two is this, what you're going to find is most people, they're going to try and hide their arms. This is a really shit way because it's super hard. So think about this way, we need to be able to post so one hand comes off. Right, I do want to defend. So as I'm going to be like this, I'm going to help people like, I need to get the leg off my head, which is the standard arm basket. So I go, ha. You cycle and pretty much you're already on the back drop. So, and here, you have the arm, so the hands are the equation to hand fight. The hand fight is here too. If you want to, bring your foot over my elbow and you can pin, you don't even have to just pin it down. It's like now. Anything else? So it works better when they do the escape by lifting the leg off head. They're actually helping you get out of it. Okay, let's have a quick shot, guys. 1, 2, 3. once again, I'm not putting the hooks in. I will. I've kind of been all week denying the hooks and not talking about hooks. I will come to it in a second. Okay. So rules number one is once again is the seatbelt grip. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hand in seatbelt grip, and what I'm doing from here instead is I'm going to start to bring my hand up from here, nice and tight. So this is a really, and I can choke my partner from here, but it's pretty hard to, anyone that's quite good is going to power out of it. So as I'm here, I'm going to simply start to slide my hand to here. So I'm going to get this lapel, and I'll double up the lapel. So I'll double up my grips. Okay. Think about it this way. I have the choke, right? So as I start to pull the choke in, they're going to hand fight. As I hand fight, I'll slide my hand down, and I'm going to just get the secondary collar. Pull my elbow backwards, and get my choke. So the secondary grip would be that from here, I can go hand fight and hand in the collar. Right? I do like to double this up, but sometimes you don't get the opportunity to do so as long as I get the secondary collar. The part that people fail on this choke is that the elbow is front side, which is supposed to be for the seatbelt grip, but it has to be back side for the choke. So what I'm doing is I raise my elbow, I'll pull my elbow backwards, and that will put the choke on. Where if I simply pull here, there's quite a fair bit of space. So what I find is once I get my double lapel grip, first thing I do is I lift the chin. How do I lift the chin? I lift my elbow. Cycle my elbow backwards. Now, to finish the choke, all this is doing is taking the slack out of the collar, so this doesn't pull, but I need my elbow in. All I'm doing is a seated row now. You okay, Goldie?
Yeah,
I'm going to loosen this off just a little bit because I can feel
yeah.
So it's a seated row. So I throw my chest forward and I pull my arms backwards to get the seated row. But I'm not crunching on this one. So chest goes forward and I seated row backwards to finish this choke. It's a different dynamic to your cross collar choke and your standard choke. But what I find is that people still think they'd still treat like a standard choke. So the elbow's front side. On this one, you've got to get your elbow back side to get the choke on. So the reason why this works like is because a lot of people that's going to pull to get out of it, they kind of put the choke on. Jump on my back. Thanks, Lottie. If you can tip your partner, this works really well as well. So even if we start hook seam, seatbelt grip, back control from here, and from here is as I'm hand fighting, so I'm going to parry, boom, hand goes in. So as I go this one, that means that the hand's free to go the collar. I can't turn my head because Emma's head's in the way. Now this is part, raise the elbow high first, yes. I find if you just start, that's a good escape. if you start, if you do everything right, and your elbow's front side, and you start pulling the elbow backwards, choke, 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 hard as you can, choke, 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 hard as you can, choke, 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 choke. It's on, but it's not on. You know what I mean? Like it's going to take a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Where if you go raise the elbow, it's instant. So do you remember that time when we were over there and you were trying to choke me and I wouldn't tap and you called me stubborn?
Yeah, because your eyes are going purple.
It's because I'm rolling it. So one of the things that happens is this, because people treat it like a stand choke and they pull the arm across. The downfall part is I've got this huge breathing space. Yeah. So if I turn in, that's going to choke. So all I do is I stroke my shoulder. Now, if you start putting the choke on hard as you can, it's honestly, it's really hard to finish a choke on someone that's good. But if you now raise that elbow,
So what they're doing is just going
Open it.
come here, let me choke you, babe. I just need your permission. Okay, that's fine. So the thing about this one is, if I'm here, I'm going to go slow. So this is the incorrect way. So I'm putting my elbows backwards. Just so when, okay. Change up.
Yeah.
Because it lifts the chin and it now cuts through the carotid instead of across. Because if you turn this way here, it's on the back of your neck. Where if I'm here, it's, even if you turn, it's still on the carotid. So what I found from this choke here, what a lot of people do is, when they reach out, they get the control, and then people will hand fight the top hand, which is cool. So I just simply raise my elbow, take the tension out, and the choke. It's pretty much once again an effortless choke. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hooks in or no hooks in, it doesn't matter for this choke, guys. Have a play around. Okay, let's go, guys. 2 minutes, and we'll change partners. 2 minutes, and we're pretty much done.